Ever wondered what would happen if the steel behemoths of today's battlefields went head-to-head with the towering mechanical walkers from a galaxy far, far away? Let's dive into a sci-fi showdown. A modern Abrams tank battalion versus the iconic Imperial ATAT walkers from Star Wars. Who would come out on top? First, let's look at our modern champion, the M1 Abrams tank. This beast is a masterpiece of engineering, weighing nearly 70 tons and protected by incredibly advanced composite armor. Its main weapon is a 120mm smoothbore cannon that can fire a variety of rounds, including armor-piercing fin-stabilized discarding sabot rounds, or APFSDS for short. These are essentially massive metal darts, traveling at over 5 times the speed of sound, designed to punch through the toughest armor. The Abrams also boasts a sophisticated fire control system, allowing it to accurately hit targets over 2 miles away, even while moving at high speed over rough terrain. Plus, it's got machine guns for infantry and low-flying threats. Its biggest strengths are its blend of firepower, protection, and mobility. It's low to the ground, fast, and designed to survive in the most hostile environments. Now, let's meet the challenger, the all-terrain armored transport, the ATAT. Standing over 22 meters tall, this four-legged walker is pure psychological warfare. Its heavy armor plating is designed to deflect energy blasts, and its primary weapons are 2 heavy laser cannons under its chin, supplemented by medium repeating blasters on its temples. In the Star Wars universe, these lasers can blast through fortified shields and vaporize infantry. The ATAT's height gives it an incredible vantage point, allowing it to shoot down on targets from above. Its sheer size and intimidating presence are meant to crush enemy morale before the first shot is even fired. Its weakness, as famously shown in The Empire Strikes Back, is its legs. They are less armored and susceptible to being tripped up by tow cables. So, the battle begins. Let's imagine a classic battlefield, a wide-open plain, perfect for long-range engagements. A dozen Abrams tanks are spread out, using the terrain for cover. On the horizon, for massive ATATs advance, their heavy footfalls shaking the ground. The first engagement would likely happen at maximum range. The Abrams tanks, with their advanced thermal sights and laser rangefinders, would spot the towering ATATs long before the walkers could get a clear shot. The tank commanders would give the order to fire. The sound would be deafening as the 120mm cannons unleash their APFSDS rounds. These kinetic penetrators, traveling at incredible speeds, would slam into the ATAT's armor. Now, this is where it gets interesting. How strong is ATAT armor? In Star Wars, it's shown to be highly resistant to blaster fire, which are energy weapons. But a kinetic projectile is a completely different kind of threat. It doesn't disperse its energy on the surface. It concentrates all of its force into a tiny point to punch through. It's like the difference between pushing on a wall with your whole hand versus poking it with a needle. Given the immense energy of a modern tank shell, it's highly probable that it would penetrate the ATAT's armor. It might not go all the way through on the first hit, especially on the thickest frontal sections, but it would cause significant damage, spalling on the inside and potentially knocking out systems or crew. The ATATs would retaliate. Their heavy laser cannons would fire back, unleashing powerful beams of energy. But the Abrams tank is no slouch when it comes to protection. Its Chobham-style composite armor is a classified mix of ceramics, steel, and other materials, designed specifically to defeat both kinetic penetrators and shape-charge chemical energy rounds. While a direct hit from a Star Wars laser cannon would be devastating, the Abrams armor is layered and sloped to deflect and absorb incredible amounts of energy. A hit might gouge a massive molten crater into the armor, but it's unlikely to instantly vaporize the tank. The crew inside would be rattled, but likely survive the initial blasts. The key difference here is targeting. The Abrams can fire on the move with uncanny accuracy. The ATAT, on the other hand, is a slower, more deliberate platform. Its head has to turn to aim, which is a slower process. The tanks, being much smaller and faster, would be constantly repositioning, making them incredibly difficult targets for the ATAT's gunners. The tanks would use shoot and scoot tactics, firing around and immediately moving to a new position before the ATATs could zero in on their location. The battle would become a deadly dance of cat and mouse. The Abrams tanks would focus their fire. Instead of just shooting at the massive body, They'd use their superior targeting systems to aim for the weak spots. The most obvious target? The legs. A few well-placed shots from a 120mm cannon into the leg joints would cripple an AT-AT. Unlike the snowspeeders that needed tow cables, a tank round has enough brute force to shatter the mechanical components, sending the towering walker crashing to the ground. An immobilized AT-AT is a sitting duck. Another critical weak point is the neck connecting the head to the body. This joint contains vital control systems and power conduits. A successful hit there could sever the head's connection to the main reactor, effectively decapitating the walker and rendering it useless. The tank commanders, trained to identify and exploit weaknesses in enemy armor, would quickly figure this out. The AT-AT's height, its greatest psychological advantage, becomes its biggest liability. It's a huge, unmissable target. Its belly is also less armored than its front and sides. The Abrams tanks, being low to the ground, could potentially get underneath or alongside the walkers, firing upwards into these softer areas. The AT-AT's heavy laser cannon can't depress far enough to engage a tank that's right next to or underneath it. What about other weapons? The AT-AT has medium blasters, but those are primarily for anti-infantry and light vehicle use. They would likely be ineffective against the Abrams' heavy armor, maybe scarring the paint, but not much else. The Abrams, however, has a .50 caliber machine gun. While it wouldn't hurt the AT-AT's main body, it could be used to target the external sensor arrays and optics on the walker's head, effectively blinding it. Let's not forget about air support. In a modern military doctrine, tanks rarely operate alone. They are part of a combined arms force. If we introduce something like an A-10 Warthog attack jet, the fight is over before it even begins. The A-10's 30mm Avenger cannon, firing depleted uranium rounds, was literally designed to shred tanks from above. It would make short work of the AT-AT's thinner top armor. A single Maverick missile would also be more than enough to cripple or destroy a walker. But even without air support, just tank versus walker, the odds are heavily stacked in the Abrams' favor. The core philosophy of modern tank design, speed, a low profile, advanced targeting, and specialized kinetic weapons, is the perfect counter to the AT-AT's design, which relies on height, thick armor, and fear. The AT-AT is a weapon of terror and occupation, designed to fight against less advanced planetary militias. The Abrams is a weapon of war, designed to fight and win against other heavily armed and armored opponents. So the verdict? In a one-on-one fight, an Abrams would have a tough but winnable battle. But in a more realistic scenario, a battalion of Abrams tanks, using coordinated tactics, would dismantle a squadron of AT-ATs with ruthless efficiency. They would use their speed to outmaneuver the walkers, their advanced optics to target weak points from a safe distance, and their powerful kinetic cannons to punch through the armor and bring the mechanical giants crashing down. It's a fascinating matchup, but the principles of modern warfare, mobility, precision, and combined arms, win the day. The AT-AT is an unforgettable and iconic piece of science fiction design, but when faced with the harsh reality of a modern main battle tank, its reign of terror would be short-lived. What do you think? Could the AT-ATs pull off a win with a different strategy? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this sci-fi showdown, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.